Hi, I'm John Piper and I'm running for governor of Indiana in 2020. My platform is about corruption. First, I want to get out of the way that I'm a big Donald Trump fan. Donald Trump, President of the United States, has done wonderful things. I agree with John Voight. He will go down in history as one of our greatest presidents of all time. He's securing our border. He's taking care of our military. He's bringing a great economy back to America. Those are the fundamentals that we want from a president. He is doing a wonderful job. So I have nothing against Donald Trump. However, I do have a big problem with Mike Pence. Mike Pence and I have known each other since 2009. Mike Pence is not the honorable Christian man everybody says he is. And when I sit down with different groups and I show the crimes he's involved with, the human trafficking, the laundering of money to Europe, Spain in particular for highways, hundreds of millions of dollars missing. When I talk about the corruption at Purdue University with him buying and selling seats to medical schools across the country, people start saying, oh my God, I had no idea he was so corrupt. He was a congressman for 12 years and Paul Ryan's best friend. He was then governor of Indiana for 4 years. Mike Pence and I have a long history. He doesn't like me, and when they had an attempt on my life last year on July 27th, he and Governor Eric Holcomb tried to cover it up. We'll get to that in just a little bit here. But let's start talking about Mike Pence and how corrupt he really is. Back in 1990, this was Mike Pence right here. He took his campaign funds in 1990, the records show, then 31 political donations paid the mortgage on his house, his personal credit card bills. Think about that. Would you like somebody else to pay your credit card bills? Grocery, golf tournament fees, and the car payments for his wife. Mike Pence said it wasn't against federal law, and he was correct. It wasn't against federal law. It was, however, against state law. Mike Pence knew he was committing a felony. He was a lawyer. He solicited funds for one purpose and then used them for personal gain. That is a felony. He should have gone to jail for 5 years and he should have been disbarred. I'm absolutely tired of everybody telling me how wonderful and nice guy he is. The other thing we're going to talk about is these folks right here. They did the same thing in New Jersey. The whole country knows about them. $400,000 or more for this homeless guy. It was nothing but a con and a scam. They're going to jail for 5 years. Why shouldn't Pence? We're going to kind of go fast through some of these other things. Mike Pence is a criminal. Mike Pence worked with the FBI to help launder and set up sex trafficking little girls here in Indiana. This is one of the pieces of proof I have. I've been thrown out of FBI headquarters twice. I stood right underneath the sign when I took a picture and I called the FBI and said I have 2 locations. By the way, I've closed down, personally, both of those locations with help of the Polaris Project. Mike Pence refused to help me. The FBI said, you got to bring your evidence out, so I did. The FBI threw me out of FBI headquarters twice. Not once, but twice. Why? The FBI knows all about it. One of the reasons we're going to get to real fast on the human trafficking part of this, the great one, Mark Levin, talking to Jocko Boyens. His sister was taken at 13 years of age, 6 years, forced into sex slavery. He knows all about it. He told Mark Levin, and this is why the FBI is directly involved and why they're so corrupt. Each one of those little girls, 12, 14 years old, is worth $200,000 a year to a sex trafficker. That's why we have so many homes in Indiana, so many restaurants in Indiana. The crime is inhumane, unmanageable. Nobody's willing to do anything about it. That's one of the reasons I'm running for office. I want to show everybody else real fast. FBI, fake story. When I started gathering all my evidence, I went to the guy who wrote this article, Tim Evans. And I said, Tim, I've got all this evidence about Mike Pence, the FBI, Johnson County, Hendricks County, all being involved. He said, send it to me. I did. UPS certified. He got it. He called me back 3 days later and goes, John, I can't help you. He goes, I looked at your evidence, but I can't do it. I said, why? He goes, I didn't write this article. I said, your name's right there. He goes, the FBI planted it. They gave it to me and told me to run it. My bosses told me I'm not allowed to talk to you anymore. So the people at the Indy Star told him to hang up the phone, and he hung up the phone, and I've never spoken to him since. It's off the chart. Here's the other guy that was involved. This is the head of the FBI at that point in time. He helped falsify that story, and he approved these fake signs all over. This is important right here. We have now learned, December 23rd of last year, Channel 59 reported that Governor Eric Holcomb has ordered all old 911 calls deleted. Anderson and Muncie have both started doing it. I contacted Hendricks County, Johnson County, and Morgan County. They refused to comment on it. The biggest lie in America, if you see something, say something. They don't want you to say anything. I own an animal hospital. I call the retired federal agent that comes and brings his pet to me. He goes, John, the reason they're deleting them, there's so many of them. Governor Eric Holcomb said there's too many too many calls on the old servers. We got to clean up the servers. We could, of course, store everything on the cloud. HOCM won't allow that. They have to delete the 911 calls. That's the evidence that myself, all my neighbors, the other business owners in the strip center where we had the human trafficking, they're all being deleted so that nobody can follow the evidence trail. This can't be allowed to go on. This is the one place that I can definitively say, with my own eyes, I saw time and time again. That's my house. You look up to number 3, it used to be over there. It was a house that was moved into an empty field. That's human trafficking, sex trafficking 101. I gave this to Mike Pence 3 times. Pence refused to do anything about it. All my neighbors reported it. Pence refused to do anything about it. Took all of it, threw it away. We gave the time of day the kids were being dropped, the number of kids, the kind of car, the kind of van, the color, every bit of actionable intelligence you would need to know. The days of the week, they refused. The police, the sheriff, the FBI, Mike Pence. I said to Mike Pence the same thing I said to the FBI. If you think I'm lying, go talk to my neighbors, see what they say. Go talk to the other people in the strip center, the other business owners, mailbox, etc. Great Clips, Kroger's, the frame shop. The FBI has never spoken to anybody. The state police, no one. They refuse to do anything about it. If you see something, say something. It's the biggest lie in America. If I become governor, it's going to be the rule of law. We are going to involve everybody in every neighborhood. We are going to stop it. Real quick, I promise I wouldn't blow you and take too much time. One of the things that I am more than anything else is I'm a whistleblower. And that's why this man tried to run me down and murder me on my own front lawn. Don't believe me? There's the sheriff on the scene. There's the eyewitness that told me to get out of the way. He committed 4 felonies that particular day, the last of which was trying to run me down. That's my property. He drove 100 feet off the road across my front lawn. Governor Eric Holcomb ordered no police reports made, which is a felony. Governor Eric Holcomb ordered no arrest, no investigation, no prosecution. By the grace of God, one honest person in Indiana stood up for me. And that's our Chief Justice of our Supreme Court. Right here says, I can't help you. We don't do investigations. So I'm glad to see that you sent your letter to the Attorney General, Prosecutor, State Police, all of whom have the authority. That's a very polite way of saying they got to get off their asses and do their job. I've talked to hundreds of attorneys in different states. Every one of them has said they have never heard of a Supreme Court Chief Justice involving themselves in a case not before them, let alone where the police reports showed no crimes. This is outrageous what Governor Eric Holcomb did. And why did Holcomb do it? To protect his friend Mike Pence. Okay, we're going to get on to a couple other things here real fast. We're going to talk about the FBI's involvement. Everybody in the world needs to know about this case. It's ongoing in Indianapolis right now. The FBI, Pettygate bombshell, how the FBI protected an Olympic pedophile. Everybody wants to know why in the world would FBI do it. We're going to find out. But the FBI knew in 2015 and 2016 what this guy was doing. This young man right here raped and molested 27 to 40 more girls during that period of time. Mike Pence was your governor. Knew all about it and didn't do anything to stop it. We're going to go over here now to I-69, one of the biggest crimes going on in the state of Indiana. Mike Pence laundered hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars to Spain, to a company called Isolux. Isolux was the main corporation that had shell companies. What they did is they laundered that money to Spain to build a superhighway in the state of Indiana. By the way, Isolux knew, Mike Pence knew, they had never built a road. They had built power lines in Texas and solar panels in California. Why in the world would Mike Pence do that? Bloomberg Financial said, do not get in bed with these people. They're the most corrupt corporation in the world. That's Bloomberg Finance telling him that. Indiana Financial Authority stepped in and told them, Governor Pence, do not send the money. They have 8 executives that are now being indicted and arrested for public corruption, bribing officials, and embezzlement. Pence sent the money anyway. $360 million is still missing to this day. We can't allow this corruption to go unchecked. We have to stop it. Real quick, we're going to go to Purdue Veterinary School. Promise it won't take too much of your time. Half the seats at Purdue Vet School are sold. Half. They only graduate 86 doctors a year. Half have to be from out of state. Do you know why they have to be from out of state? Because 23 states don't even have vet schools. How do they get their veterinarians? Arkansas, Kentucky, West Virginia, South Carolina. Look at that. Washington, D.C., New Jersey, Vermont, Maine, Nebraska, South Dakota, all the way. Alaska, Hawaii, nobody has vet schools. Do they have puppy dogs? Do they have kittens? You bet they do. Why don't they have vet schools? They don't want to pay for them. They're huge. It's big money. Case in point, your governor, Eric Holcomb, right here in Indiana, just gave $131 million. $131 million. Didn't give it to teachers, or to vets, or to police, or to fire. He gave it to the vet school of Purdue to educate students from other states because he was paid to do so. Why is Lori Loughlin and those other people going to prison for giving $100 grand to get their kid an undergrad when our governor and now vice president made millions in campaign donations selling seats at Purdue veterinary school? We cannot allow this to happen. Right here, one of the biggest things, you're going to see all of our t-shirts come out. Mount Hushmore. Mike Pence is your George Washington. Cardinal Bernard Law. Real quick, let's just jump on this. Raped 1,000 little boys. Best friends with Ted Kennedy. He testified to it, said he relied on faulty psychological analysis for he and the other priests. They could get better. They would get better. After his trial, before he served any time, Ted Kennedy flew him back to the Vatican. That's where he died. Larry Nassar, the Olympic rapist. Everybody knows Jeffrey Epstein, Bill Cosby, Bill Clinton, the two FBI agents that helped Mike Pence launder all those kids into Indiana. You're right there. You're George Washington. God forbid he ever becomes president. Modern day slavery is alive and well. You don't believe me? Look up Ashton Kutcher. Look up Matthew McConaughey. Look up the coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin. Countless people are going out of their way now to say they're going to dedicate the rest of their lives to stopping modern day slavery. It has to. We have to. I have a plan. What would Lincoln do? Basic. Indiana's going to lead the nation in the new emancipation. We're going to use simple things, billboards, 911. We're going to involve everybody in every strip center, everybody in every neighborhood. We're going to find out where these kids are, and we're going to rescue them. We're going to do everything we possibly can. It's simple. We just have to involve people, and we can't delete the 911 calls, Governor Holcomb. We have a plan. We're going to solve these things. Thank you for your time. We have a lot of videos that are going to get into the specifics of all these allegations. I am not a Brett Kavanaugh accuser. That lady had not one shred of evidence. No times, no dates, no location, no witnesses. I have police reports, times, dates, locations, meetings with governors, senators, mayors, police chiefs, videotape. We have everything. This is true. This is factual. Mike Pence is a pedophile. He's a child rapist. He knew about it. He allowed it. He protected it. And he profited from it. All the way to allowing Paul Ryan to have him become Vice President of the United States. We're going to get to this, more of this in detail in the upcoming videos. Thank you for your time. God bless Indiana and God bless America.